All right, let's go to the wide receivers. Rome Odunze, a very quiet 2 weeks here. Wide receiver 63 over the last 2 weeks, Matthew, for Rome Odunze, who was so good to start the year.
Right. So, I mean, obviously, if I'm keeping it open on Caleb Williams, it makes sense that I would keep it open on its main wide receiver, Rome Odunze. He's my wide receiver 17 this week. Every game this year except for one, he's had at least a 22% target share. Again, as we talked about with Williams, same thing with this Ravens defense, Connor. They're bottom 5 in yards and completion rate allowed on deep passes. We know Odunze likes to get deep. And in 3 of the past 4 games, the Ravens have allowed at least 16 fantasy points to a wide receiver. So if you're telling me there's a wide receiver in the Bears that gets at least 16 fantasy points here, you feel pretty good that it's going to be Rome Odunze. We think that defense gets healthier, but maybe not healthy enough.
Right. And they could play in a script to get him going, you'd hope, in this game.
Yeah, the past 2 games, I mean, they were running the ball at will against the Commanders.
Right.
They were leading the whole game, basically, against the Saints. So there was just no real reason to activate Rome Odunze, but haven't seen anything to believe that he won't still be the number 1 guy. And also, the Bears, who are a good story, and I think a perfectly fine, solid team, they're just not going to be leading games all the time as they have for most of the past month.
Our next wide receiver, more of a floor play with Khalil Shakir, Jay. He's at Carolina. He's got 11-plus points in 3 of his last 4 games, but you just don't get any big boom weeks with Khalil Shakir.
Not really, and the Bills here are 7.5-point favorites. The Bills like to run the ball. I think they're going to probably overcorrect a little and lean more heavily into the run after they abandoned it against Atlanta and were chastised for it. Strange thing with the Bills and their offense, which has been a juggernaut basically every year since Josh Allen emerged as Josh Allen, is that Josh Allen's taken 12 sacks this year already. He took 14 all of last year combined. There's just something a little bit off with the Bills at the moment, but Carolina Panthers should provide a decent antidote. And Khalil Shakir, again, he's like the quintessential, do you need 8 points? You just want 8 points in your flex? Then Khalil Shakir's your guy.
By the way, Darren Waller just went on IR, guys. So, yeah, it's fun while it lasted.
It was fun while it lasted.
He had a good moment. He had some good moments.
He did.
Yeah. It's time to fire up Dalton Schultz. That's what that music screams.
That's what.
Maybe Rondé Gadsden if you were lucky enough.
Dalton Schultz might be the number 1. Can you imagine? I told you 2 years ago, like, Dalton Schultz is going to be C.J. Stroud's number 1 option in the NFL game.
By far.
Yeah. Cut to Julian Hill getting 12 targets on Sunday for the Finns. On Khalil Shakir, I get it. I'm actually going to close it out. So I'm at wide receiver 34. Like, he's had 1 game with more than 45 yards. I agree with you. There's more of a floor than an upside here. Jay, like, you know, he just. But the problem here is that they're 7.5-point favorites, the Bills are, so it's you feel like they're probably going to be more run-heavy than pass-heavy here.
Yeah.
The Panthers' defense, by the way, actually, you know, better than you would think. They allow the 3rd fewest fantasy points to wide receivers, and just there hasn't been the. Again, like, he's solid, but he just hasn't had. There's not a lot of upside with Khalil Shakir. Like, if they're going to take a deep shot, it's going to be Keon Coleman. Maybe it's a Josh Palmer, you know, that kind of stuff. They've been using Dalton Kincaid more. You know, he's been banged up a little bit, but I don't know. I'm closing it out. Even in a week like this, I'm outside my top 30. He's wide receiver 34 for me. Khalil Shakir. Against a Panthers juggernaut that, if you were listening early in the show, Jay Croucher says will win the NFC South. Jay Croucher on our show predicting the Panthers will win the NFC South. That's what I heard.
Host a playoff game.
That's what I heard too.
Yes.
I heard the same thing. You guys did, right? So it's you're out on a limb. I like the boldness of that call.
You just wait till seg 3 because Panthers NFC South is going to look like absolutely nothing compared to my call in Back to the Futures.
All right.
The issue with the Bills, just like, again, it's like the Chiefs in 2022 and Juju Smith-Schuster was the number 1 guy. Offense is just too egalitarian, and there's no Travis Kelce in this offense either. It's just there's too many guys who also, they all work the kind of similar parts of the field as well. It seems like a lot of guys who like to run slant routes, and then Keon Coleman jumping up for his 2 contested catches each game. So I don't think you feel great about any Bills pass catcher any week.
Strong use of egalitarian.
Well, you can't even say it.
I can't. That's why I'm saying strong.
I'm not going to try.
Egalitarian?
Egalitarian.
Egalitarian.
It means equally spread.
No, I understand what it means. I just don't use the word.
Yeah.
I just can't use the word because it's
an English word.
Yeah,
whatever you were trying to say.
I know.
What language you were speaking.
No, I mean my.
Did you go for the Arabic pronunciation?
My vocabulary is small, and that it was a big word.
These are the times I'm reminded he is a lawyer.
Yes.
El Segundo, Shakir or Matthew Golden the rest of the season? Well, funny you ask. Matthew Golden is next up on Keep It Open or Close It Out here. So do you want to start by answering that, or do you want to get right into Matthew Golden? I'll leave the adventure up to you.
I think it depends on what you need. Right, if you're like
different players,
right, exactly. So my point is that if you're like, hey man, rest of the season, I'm in a 16-team league, I'm in a 14-team league, and I just need 10 points every week. I just need 4 for 45 or whatever. Then I think the answer is Khalil Shakir. Because I do think, to Jay's point, I think there's a floor. It's a low floor, but I think there is at least a floor, consistent production. Matthew Golden is 2 points or 15.
Right.
I think he is a good player that will eventually get better. The challenge is the Packers have a really good defense, and they run the ball well. And so could we see Matthew Golden, like so many rookie wide receivers before him, have a strong second half of the season where it all sort of clicks in for him? We like his quarterback. We like the offense. People keep getting hurt around him, but it just hasn't been there yet for Matthew Golden. So
right.
if the question was like, hey man, I've got my starting lineup, I'm just looking for somebody to stash at the end of my bench that could pop down the stretch, then the answer is Matthew Golden.
Yeah. Here's what I would say. What do you want to be as a person, El Segundo? Do you want to be someone who's aiming to squeeze a single past the second baseman? Or do you want to live? Do you want to live? Do you want to swing for the fences? Matthew Golden's the answer. He's the only one who's going to be interesting of these two the rest of the way. He's the only one who's got a shot at being interesting.
Yes.
No concern over Christian Watson potentially coming back very soon?
Right? Yeah.
Some concern.
At some point, Dontavian Wicks will be back. Jaden Reed, they're all starting to get a little healthier.
Right. Julio Think You Are. Always good to see Julio Think You Are in the chat. Would y'all trade Golden at this point or hold out till he produces more? Doesn't seem like he's having a breakout game yet.
What am I getting for Matthew Golden?
Right.
It depends on what you're like. It's hard to answer that, Julio, in a vacuum because, again, he's got upside, but does he have more upside than player X? Yes or no? It depends on who you're trading him for. Again, he's a lottery ticket here, so you're not going to get much in return. But if there's a lottery ticket you feel better about, then sure.
Right.
I'm just trying to think of another I'd rather have. I'm trying to think of another lottery ticket, but Kyle Monangai. I'd rather have
Sure.
he showed signs of life last week, but we don't know. But there's a chance that he's
it's a tricky one.
Right. It's a tricky one there. I'm trying to think of another guy that
I just said if you wanted to look at someone who's done pretty much nothing all year, but could be, in theory, has the upside to be a top 20 wide receiver the rest of the way. There aren't that many better candidates than Matthew Golden. They spent a first-round pick on him. He's high variance. He's very deep average depth of target. It could happen.
Hey, here's one for you. Matthew Golden or Jameson Williams?
That's somebody in the chat has basically called him that.
Yeah,
right?
They're
the same idea.
It's a wash.
Exactly. That's my point.
Yeah, I feel like it's a wash.
Yeah, I think they're the same player.
Maybe you get a little better floor with Golden right now when Jameson Williams does nothing.
There's more variance with Golden.
Yes.
Because we feel like we have a longer sample size with Jameson Williams, and there's no reason for the Lions to switch up what they're doing.
Yeah.
But the Packers potentially, they spent a first-round pick on this kid.
Yeah, here's the other thing, too, is that I believe in Jordan Love more than Jared Goff in terms of upside. Jared Goff, who is fine, he's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
He's having the worst 15 passing touchdown, 3 interception season I've ever seen anyone have. He was not good against the Bucs. He did not play well.
Yeah.
He doesn't,
No.
and I think that they are just going to continue
They
to
got
lean into the
Amon-Ra
run.
St. Brown open on a crossing route that just he hit him in stride, and then,
He's not
it was
having
a great play call.
Great year, Goff, yeah.
No.
Player X is Leggett.
Oh, there you go. But it's well done, regular Rudy. That is
Very
pretty
nice.
good.
Regular
All right.
Rudy.
But hey, Matthew Golden or Xavier Leggett off of his one good game.
Yeah,
keep
Xavier Leggett
Matthew
did
Golden.
Yeah.
I'd keep Matthew
Leggett had
Golden.
9 targets, I guess. But
Matthew Golden or Keon Coleman.
Matthew
Matthew Golden.
Yeah.
Keon Coleman can't generate any separation right now.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm in a dynasty league where Keon Coleman was traded for Saquon Barkley last year.
That's a good trade.
I will say, Matthew Golden is
For the guy that got Saquon Barkley, it is.
Matthew Golden's a combined 5 inches away from an extra 150 receiving yards this season.
Right.
He's had 3 deep balls that were just so close. He had one against the Commanders, one against the Cowboys, I think. He's been close. And again, the usage hasn't been good. That's not saying that he's going to definitely turn the corner, but there is a lot of variance.
Matthew Golden or Alec Pierce.
Alec Pierce. Colts offense.
I know what your
wacko.
answer is, obviously.
Alec Pierce.
Yeah, you have no choice.
Take A.D. Mitchell over Matthew Golden. I love the Colts. No, I wouldn't. I'd take
You're a
Matthew
Colts
Golden.
man. I get
I'm a
it.
Colt.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotorWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.